Gonna do a quick update. There's a couple of new structures that have gone up. One of them's really simple and still a real building in Chicago, but it's nothing special about it. Or the materials made to build it. It's probably the simplest structure in the whole game or server. Then there's this guy who's a little more complicated, but all made out of quartz that was mined out of the nether. I thought this one looked good. I'll step back and look at this real quick. I think this one's called Century Building. I forget what the name on this guy is. I don't know. I guess I took the label off. There were some old buildings that I felt bad knocking down, so I compromised their structure in a couple places, but kept most of them intact. But this new building is much better looking and fits on that piece of real estate much better than those old ones did. So those two are new. This is, yeah, like I said, ugly, but still it does exist in Chicago. I needed something that was going to fill this street corner that's kind of shallow and run some distance along here. And now I've got to find one more sort of narrow structure to fit this section. So this will be a build site real soon. I think this is going to be a park over here. I'll probably replace all that with grass, make it a park. There's another structure, new building over here by the insurance building. Yeah, this guy. Now it turned out kind of monochromatic, or just too one-colory for my taste. I thought the pattern was nice. It is a real structure. Well, this one's the Century Building. I thought it turned out good, and that the pattern looked really good and true to real life, but I'm sort of regretting that I used materials that look so the same color. Anyways, then there's the Sears Tower, and then there's Trump Tower out there. It's not done, but it is kind of a superstructure, huge. Definitely not staggered perfectly. It is big. It took a lot of dye to make all of this light blue glass. There's lots and lots of square footage that needs to be floored in on all these long, huge towers. Especially on these first few floors. I mean, building this, I had to do a lot of falling, a lot of jump blocking, so I threw down a bunch of water to fall into so I wouldn't die as much. But you can see the size of this. This alone would fit so many floors. That would all have really cool views of the airport that's going up over there, and the rest of the city in this direction. So we kind of expect that the city is going to grow in this, I think, northern direction. So you see a lot of excavation. Everything's very flat out here. The airport is being started here by Stavros a long time ago, but he hasn't been back in a while, so I don't know. We'll see if he's going to come back. And then the sort of beginnings of Trump Tower there. Needs a lot of detail work, needs a lot of flooring. It's huge though. Huge. The most interesting thing that I will probably make a few videos on is based on a prototype from a guy in the server called Vanilla Dip. He built this iron machine prototype here hanging over the water, and it's producing quite a bit of iron. Um, we're gonna go over the rest of this together, but his prototype is just basically a handful of villagers being scared by a zombie that's tagged so he can't despawn. Now, I don't think he came up with this design. I think he found it somewhere. Um, and the golems spawn in there and get washed um, over the hoppers, and of course the lava kills them. And then the hoppers underneath feed the iron into this collection chest. I just emptied it, but in a couple of days, this one machine produced, I want to say, more than a half a crate, double crate of iron. So the plan here is to put that inside of this building. It's going to be the consumer's building. The pattern's already patterned out on the floor here. And we're going to put 4 of his prototype machines vertically 20 block intervals. So there's the first one. I need him to inspect it because I actually built this one. I don't know if it's going to work. He knows best how the machine works. And then a second one will go here. A third one will go here. And then a fourth one at the top. And then it'll just be a big building that comes up and wraps around the whole thing so you can't see the inner workings of it. We'll keep tabs on this because I think it's going to be really cool when it's done. And I think it's going to produce an enormous amount of iron. We had a machine like this not in another part of the world, but it never worked quite right. But Vanilla Dip's version over there works really well. This is going to be the collection area, all sort of daisy chained together with hoppers. I'll probably tear these chests out and raise them up so the hoppers go under them easier. But this will be where all 4 of those machines above will drop all their iron into these crates down here. I think it's going to produce so much that it'll have its own little cache. The only thing I don't have figured out is how to shut it off. Maybe somebody can comment what would be a way to stop it if we had to. It's pretty funny. This was, as he was getting this prototype working, it was dropping golems down in the ocean here. It was pretty funny. There's like a million of those guys just walking around down there. Anyways, we'll keep tabs on this. It's going to be really cool when it's done. We're also going to do a video soon about all the villagers in here. You can see the work. This is more Vanilla Dip. He's got just this whole apartment complex full of villagers that are offering really good trades. So they've all been sort of groomed. Anyways, it's a lot of work's been going into it recently. Everything's sort of lighting up, and the depot is getting empty because of all of the projects. So we're gonna have to spend some time mining to refill the depot and farming and stuff like that, so we can wrap up the projects that are out there now and start the next round of projects, which will probably require excavation of this almost entire biome. You can see the city level is around 63 to 65. That means all of this biome has to be exploded down to that level. So there'll just be rows and rows of TNT that will be blowing this to pieces and making it flat so that we can continue to build. But there's still plenty of work to do on a handful of those projects with the Trump Tower and the iron machine and the consumers building over there. And then of course the airport is really stagnated at this point. It's got a good start, but it's stagnated. There's some, I believe the airport will consume most of the flattened real estate out here. So there's not too much more. I think there's one or two buildings that are due to be built in this direction, but we're really going to wait and see if Stavros can get to this and finish it, and how much space he's really going to need to make the full-blown airport. So on this side of the elevated highway, I think there's a couple of signs. Yeah, the Roby, I think, is a hotel that's going to go up here. I think there's one other, I can't, and there's actually a couple of beacons that I think Sequax Domini, another player on our server, is working on putting up some speed beacons, because the city's getting so large that the three we have now aren't effectively reaching the areas where we're doing a lot of work. So we want to expand out the reach of the beacons in a couple of places. I think I've got 3 new spots designated to setting up beacons. There's going to be another update soon, because there's a gold machine down there that I want to show. There's a Wither collection machine down there I want to show. There's another ice highway going in down there we have to show. There's a lot of good stuff coming. So I'll just keep making stuff and showing this as long as people keep viewing it out there on YouTube, on the HerpDerp channel. We keep getting views and traffic, so some people are liking it. But if that stops, then we just won't post anymore. And just go back to building privately without showing anything. So that's really it for this one. I just wanted to do an update because there's been a number of new things going in. But alright, thanks.